he loves the Tickle monster, and so should you.
Oh, sure.
How could our sweet little Tickle monster ever hope to dethrone a Lovecraftian horror of unparalleled might?
One of the best things about ever starting this channel was learning about SCP and digging into some of the lore after I discover something. Now, I'm careful not to dig too deep outside of what I already know from the animations that I react to, because I don't want to be a know-it-all. I just want to be able to react to stuff. But when I do find out about an SCP and I want to learn more, I go over to the wiki or I watch other videos about it and I learn a little bit more. And lately, I've been having so much fun doing these little SCP edits on TikTok. See, YouTube needs to be the space where I do reactions. I've learned from my old channel, my gaming channel, that you can't just do whatever you want on your channel just because you feel like it. So now when I'm feeling creative, I go to TikTok and I experiment. And I've been having so much fun with it. If you like SCP content, make sure to check the link in the description for my TikTok channel. But aside from that, on YouTube, today we're going to react to an SCP called a Tickle monster. It's SCP-999. I have no idea about it except what the description of the Foundation's video said, which it's very cute and one of the Foundation's favorites, but has some crazy properties about it that may even be able to save us all, whatever that means. So make sure to go over to the SCP Foundation. Make sure to go over to Tales from the Foundation SCP Animated channel. Click the subscribe button, click the notification bell, and if you like reaction videos, make sure to subscribe to my channel as well, guys. Let's get into the animation. SCP-999 containment. Oh.
He's my favorite. I've been coming here like every break since I found out about him. It's so cool that they just let people come in his room and hang out.
I know. Whenever I see him wandering the halls, it makes my day. He's the kind of sweet guy I wish I could tell my friends outside of work about.
Oh.
Although, honestly, I'm fine not sharing about the rest of the stuff in this Hall of Freaks. But this guy, I've been obsessed with him for years.
He reminds me of the creature, if you've ever seen an old cartoon called the Herculoids. I forget its name, but it was like a blob, okay? And he was cute, and he had this little sound that he'd make. It was adorable. He kind of reminds me of this guy right here.
How long have you been working here?
Next month, it'll be 7 years. Could say I'm a seasoned pro.
Wow. Have you been a researcher that whole time?
Oh, no. I started out as an assistant and worked my way up. They went pretty quickly, though. Sometimes I joke about someone on the O5 Council looking out for me. I'm actually being considered for another promotion right now.
Dang, girl.
I guess you could call it a shift in duties.
There you go.
I've heard I'm favored to start taking care of this big guy.
Lucky you. Taking care of this little Tickle monster here has got to be the easiest job at the Foundation. If this guy ever needs a personal bodyguard, would you recommend me for it?
Of course! If I get the job, at least.
She's so cute.
Oh, thinking about it fills me up with joy.
Hello.
And not just because I'm with this goober right now.
I wonder if he's wet.
Well, it sure doesn't hurt.
Uh-oh. Serious
Okay,
look.
Roland. I didn't think you'd come.
Well, I wasn't planning on it, but you wouldn't stop talking about how much you want to be in charge of 999, so now I feel obligated.
You can't blame me, can you? I'm sure even a grump like you has to come down to see this guy from time to time.
A couple times, sure.
Oh, I'm sorry. I haven't introduced you to. Lawrence, this is Roland. He's my assistant.
Hey, Roland.
And Roland, this is Lawrence. Someone who actually appreciates 999 in all his adorable glory.
Wow.
And I'm a guard, too.
Well, yes, but most importantly, he loves the Tickle monster. And so should you.
Oh, sure. Roland, you know you want to pet it.
Okay,
pet it,
you're
guys.
right. Working with this guy would be pretty great. I hope you get the transfer, Dr. Collingwood.
Now, did you see what just happened there? Maybe it's just my observation, but he just looked at the Tickle monster for a little while and he immediately warmed up. You could tell from the music and his expressions, it's just like he softened up. Kind of like the way you feel when you're angry, but you just pet a puppy, you know? That's so cool, dude.
Yeah, it would definitely make you much happier being with 999 every day.
Thanks, guys. That's definitely what he does best.
Oh, yeah. He's so cute. 3 days later. What's your password, girl? What are you looking up? Cool, that's a long password?
Hello, Dr. Collingwood. You have one new message from O5 Command.
Whoa.
This message is for senior researcher Isabel Collingwood's eyes only. Unauthorized access will result in mandatory amnestic treatment, demotion, and possible termination.
So I learned about amnestics thanks to the comments on the last video that I did for SCP. Amnestics are things that make people lose the memory. It's kind of like the flashy thing that the Men in Black had in order to just wipe people's memory about what is actually what they see. It's probably so the information can't spread, you know? If you learn something, it's not like you can unlearn it. So they give people amnestics to make them forget. It's kind of neat.
Do you wish to continue?
Yes. Show us.
Access to this message requires a multimodal biometric ID scan.
Wow.
Submit to scan.
Yes. Scan me, baby.
To initiate multimodal bioscan, place right hand on pad. Identity confirmed.
There you go.
Commencing facial recognition scan. Do not smile.
Don't.
Identity confirmed.
It's like the
Commencing retinal iris scan.
wow.
Do not blink.
It's like the DMV.
Identity confirmed. Scanning for implemented RFID tag.
Wow.
Remain still.
How much
Identity
scanning do they do?
confirmed. Access granted. The time, date, and location of your receipt for this message has been reported to O5 Command.
Hello, Dr. Collingwood. And congratulations on your new appointment as SCP-999's head researcher. One of the cushiest and most enviable assignments in the entire Foundation. SCP-999 is one of the few anomalies in our custody who will not only never attempt to hurt you, but will actively try to save your life if you're ever in any danger.
Oh, that's cool.
Though your initial reaction when receiving this assignment was no doubt elation, you may have thought it was odd that such a seemingly low-risk position was assigned by the O5 Council directly. If you had already heard rumors of this prior to your assignment, you probably thought it was mere nepotism. The O5s protecting their friends and loved ones by giving them the safest job possible. Unless you are so narcissistic to think that someone on the O5 Council might be your secret admirer, you've likely realized that this is not the case. To understand why this is our concern, you need to know about 999's origins.
Okay.
You may have noticed that its file makes no mention of where it was discovered. This is a deliberate omission. If you're not familiar with the mythology of the Scarlet King, I suggest you read up on him.
The Scarlet King.
There's plenty of unclassified information on him in the Foundation database. All that's relevant for now is that he is, to the best of our knowledge, the most powerful, malevolent entity in the multiverse.
Holy
A
crap.
good number of our SCPs are either abominations born by he and his wives, or are the creations of mortals he empowered, either directly or indirectly.
Oh, now I want to read about it.
You've been with us since you were a research assistant, Dr. Collingwood. In that time, I assume you've heard many rumors about some of the horrific things we do here at the Foundation that you've never personally witnessed.
Yeah.
Maybe you've even heard someone whisper the words 110 Montauk. I regret to inform you that these rumors are true. Or at least they were.
Oh.
A thaumaturgical cult calling itself the Children of the Scarlet King enacted a ritual wherein 7 young women became effigies for each of the Scarlet King's 7 brides, allowing them to bear his horrid offspring. Each birth caused more destruction than the last. The writings of the cult's priest predicted nothing less than the apocalypse if the 7th bride gave birth.
Wow.
It could only be prevented if Procedure 110 Montauk was performed without fail each and every day. Fortunately, our archaeologists have unearthed numerous tablets, scrolls, and artifacts of the ancient Devas.
This is
They were a
crazy.
sadistic and warmongering people who were granted unholy power and knowledge by the Scarlet King as a reward for the death and suffering they caused. One of the Davite tablets in our possession was a theogony for the Scarlet King and his brides. It was quite informative. The information that we found most relevant to our situation was that the 7th bride was not like her sisters. She was never completely broken by her king's subjugation. Instead of monsters, she gave birth to great heroes in the hopes that they would destroy her sister's children and overthrow their father. Thus far, all have failed, but by a vote of 7 in favor, 6 against, the O5 Council decided to believe that the 7th bride still remained unbroken, and that her child would be an asset to us.
Dude, the depth of this story arc is crazy. The Davok and oh my goodness, like this is what I love about SCP lore, is because when you find something out, it just leads to all sorts of other things. It's like it's a never-ending journey, man. Oh man.
At the risk of causing an XK class end of the world scenario, SCP-231-7 was relieved from Procedure 110 Montauk and was allowed to give birth. SCP-999 was the result.
Really?
Be sure you understand it in all its preposterous ridiculousness. The Tickle monster is the child of the Scarlet King.
Wow.
We've been running a counterintelligence campaign ever since, which is why everyone and their mother thinks we've still got SCP-231-7 tied up and tortured somewhere. Let them think that. I'm sure you're skeptical. Are we insane? How could our sweet little Tickle monster ever hope to dethrone a Lovecraftian horror of unparalleled might? Well, SCP-999 is less than a decade old. It's still just a child and nowhere near its full strength.
Wow.
Even so, its power is incredible. And one day, it may grow powerful enough that not even the Scarlet King himself will be immune. It will not overthrow the Scarlet King by force, but with light, love, and laughter.
Dang.
A power that can brighten even the blackest of hearts. 999 is not in reality a safe class SCP. It is Thaumiel. It is the best and really the only weapon we have against some of the most powerful hostile entities known to exist. By all means, Doctor, enjoy the relative safety of your new position, but do keep in mind that SCP-999 is not a mere pet that we fancy. It is one of our most valuable assets and must be safeguarded at all costs. Its safety and well-being are paramount, and you are not at liberty to share this information to anyone without level 5/999 security clearance. This message will automatically delete as soon as you log out of the terminal, so feel free to replay it as many times as necessary to
Holy cow.
remember all the pertinent information.
The Scarlet King's child. The most powerful SCP that was ever discovered. Dude. And look.
I'm so happy for you. Does this mean I'll get to work with the Tickle monster too?
Oh, God.
Congratulations, Dr. Collingwood. Don't forget that promise you made me.
Yeah.
Well, if I get to work under her with the Tickle monster now, I might be assigned it after she moves up.
Oh, come on. You ain't
Look,
that big a fan of
he
it.
knows.
Oh.
Oh, dang. Hello. Hello.
I know. Aren't we
She's
lucky,
off
Dr.
now, boy.
Collingwood?
She is off.
So lucky.
So lucky. that was such a cool origin story. I would have never thought. Like, wow, man. It makes me want to dig, y'all. It really, really makes me want to dig into some of this lore. I might do that. I might do it. Not too deeply, but I might look into it because I would love to see some more animations about the Davok and all that stuff. That would be really, really cool to learn about. Guys, make sure to head on over to SCP Animated's channel, and if you like reaction videos, you can check out some more of the SCP content that I've done right there. Thanks so much for watching, guys. As always, this is Zueljin signing off, and we'll see you next time.
Break it down.